Shalom, and give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles of great millstone that taught us his truth. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful like Akim, teaching and preaching his truth with all righteousness and sincerity. Dizak Awasap, today's lesson is entitled, Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and Lord willing, you be edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, which are the true names of the Heavenly Father and his only begotten Son. And as always, the sit-downs, the lessons, the street speaking is for the remnant, the elect, the Israel, the Most High, and to you as the gospel preached. So today we'll be reading in Ecclesiastes, the 2nd chapter. And it's always beneficial for the spirit to, go through these chapters periodically, all right, just to get those reminders on, you're going to experience different trials and tribulations while carrying your burden in this cross. And as you're going through these particular things, you got to constantly keep the attitude of, keep pushing, keep striving, and most importantly, having faith that the Lord is going to deliver you out of whatever situation is brought towards you, because we're not exempt from going through, the same things that people go through in the world. But the difference between us and the people of the world, there's deliverance had for us. All right. As long as we, continue to offer our bodies as a living sacrifice and continue to do that, which is good, then, salvation, we'll be eligible for that salvation if we're enduring to the end. But, we're going to have these different things that we experience in this life that's to build us up. So here in Ecclesiastes, the 2nd chapter, it says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, so it's talking about a man or a woman in the faith that's, pushing a vibration of righteousness, all right, with the men out there teaching and preaching, all right, pushing the vibration of Israel, rehearsing a righteous act, and walking in the path that Yahweh Shai left for us as best as you can. Women, you be in subjection under your man, and, you following, his program, all right? Or if you don't have a man, you still following the truth and waiting until the Lord bless you. So, all right. So if you come in to serve the Lord, it says, prepare thy soul or spirit, because your soul and the spirit is one and the same. Prepare thy soul for temptations, the trials and tribulations. You got to get mentally prepared, because, we're not exempt from going through particular things in our lives now that we in the truth. See, in the Christian church, they teach you, you following JC, and everything is just going to all of a sudden make sense and work in your favor. But in this truth, you got to get tested, and at the end of the day, this is the Most High's program. Man's goings is of the Lord. How then shall a man understand his own way? So everything that we do, our path in life, the people we meet, certain encounters that we experience, and certain trials and tribulation is all ordained for us. And you have to understand that, So, you got to prepare your mind that you're going to go through things, but you got to also understand that, hey, if I'm of the elect, I'm going to get through whatever I'm going through, and I'm going to get salvation at the end. It says, set thy heart aright and constantly endure. Yeah, the scriptures speak about being a soldier in this thing. And part of being a soldier is you experience solitude. You got to endure certain things. Certain things don't work out in your favor, but you got to constantly endure it. But the Lord is just. He does offer balance. Like it says in Proverbs 11, the false balance is an abomination unto the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. So you're not just going to be catching hell constantly. It may feel like that, but the Lord, he's going to balance it. He's going to give you that other side, So as you're going through, the low points in this walk, you got to constantly endure. And it says, and make not haste in the time of trouble. You don't want to be making foolish decisions or impatient decisions when you're experiencing different things. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to sit back and just wait and see how the Lord is going to handle that particular situation. Sometimes the Lord will give you knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to get you through particular things. Sometimes the Lord will put the Spirit on another brother to give you counsel, to give you understanding on how to handle your situation. However the Lord do it, but you gotta be, as it says in Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 2, towards the end, make not haste in the time of trouble. Don't be making impatient decisions. Here's Proverbs chapter 14, verse 29. It says, he that is slow to wrath is of great understanding. And applying this wisdom is gonna preserve you through a lot of things in your life. You got to be slow to wrath. You can't be a hothead. You can't be soon angry. You can't be short-tempered. You know, you can't wear your feelings on your shoulders and getting emotional and getting offended quick and want to retaliate and get you, as Elder Yashwamba said, get your lick back, trying to one up. You know, you got to be slow to wrath, because if you're slow to wrath, as it says here, is of great understanding. You have understanding that, look, you know, it's demons out here, it's evil spirits on people. You know what I mean? It's bug outs. You know, you're gonna recite precepts like Isaiah 60, gross darkness to people. So it's a heavy demonic spirit on these people out here. You know, they driving crazy, they cutting you off, they cutting you in lines. You know, everybody is completely bugged out. So with us knowing that, that should put us in a situation where, hey, you know, I ain't got to get wrathful with these people, because I know how the Lord is doing things in this time and season. You know, people is bugging out, you know. So as it says here, he that is slow to wrath is of great understanding. But here's the point. But he that is hasty of spirit exalted folly. Now, this word hasty, when you go into it, and by the way, this is the Blue Letter Bible, which Elder Apostle Tahar put us on this. And this app or website allows you to go into the languages that the Bible was translated from. Now, the Old Testament was written in Hebrew. So as you see there, that word hasty goes back to the Hebrew word quat tazar. That's the quad, the tazar, and the ra, pronounced quat tazar. And it says impatient, short-tempered, impatient. So if you're impatient, you're a hothead, you're a short-tempered individual, you're going to exalt folly. You're going to do some stupid shit that's going to land you in a worse situation than you're in. The reason why the county jail, state prison, federal prison is filled with Jakes, Northern and Southern Kingdom, is because when they were faced with trouble, they made haste. They made an impatient decision to solve their problems, and they end up getting carnal, overreacting in emotions, and landed themselves in a lot of trouble. So applying this will save your life, because the scriptures speak about length of days will be added unto you if you apply this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. This is Proverbs 3:1. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. Now, the law isn't just limited to the what's written in the first 5 books of the law. You know, Genesis, Exodus, Numbers, Leviticus, and Deuteronomy. You know, all throughout the Proverbs, the Ecclesiasticus, Wisdom of Solomon. You know, there's wisdom found all throughout that. You know, and law just means instructions. Commandments just means, you know, instructions. So keeping these words, even the precepts, is a part of the commandments. It says, for length of days and long life, you get like your life extended. You know, we see these different viral videos on the internet of Jake acting out of emotions and overreacting and losing their life. It was a video of a man that just came home from work, and I guess it was some commotion, loud music, whatever going on, and he confronted his neighbors, and you know, the people that was playing the music, of course, they got, you know, pretty angry. So the guy and his son approached the guy that just got off of work, that went to the door to try to, you know, have them reduce the noise. You know, long story short, the dude that got off work up the strap or pulled his weapon out and killed those 2 people. You know, so the dude, you know, made haste in the time of trouble. He experienced some type of discomfort, made an impatient decision, and lost his life. But if he would have applied the scripts, he would have length of days and long life and peace. You know, shall they add unto thee? So the scriptures promote life. Back in Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 3, cleave unto him and you join yourself unto Yahweh Shem Shai by getting in the word. You know, you allow the spirit to get into you and you become one. You know, you get on the Lord's program. And depart not away, don't lead the truth, that thou mayest be increased at the last end, because ultimately we want salvation. It says, here's a point: whatsoever is brought upon thee, whatever you going through, take cheerfully. Not that you laughing and jumping up and down for joy when you're going through different trials or tribulation, but you understanding that, hey, this is a part of being a man of the Lord. This is my rite of passage in the truth. It says, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. So you're gonna experience low points, you know. And just because you're experiencing a low point doesn't mean you're getting judged. Let me find this precept. Um, let me find this precept because a low condition doesn't always mean that you're experiencing judgment. It could just be the Lord trying your spirit. Let me see. I'm gonna try to find it real quick. Ecclesiastes 22. And that's how you use, these apps. You find different words that you can remember. Go to Google, type it in, and then it'll find it. Like the scriptures say, seek and ye shall find. So you desire something in the scripts, the Lord will have you find it. Ecclesiastes chapter 22, verse 23. Be faithful to thy neighbor in his poverty. A brother in the truth, he may experience some poverty. You know, he may have to come lodge with a brother. He may need some cash, certain upliftment, rise to work, whatever. But you got to be down with him. You got to be charitable. Be faithful to thy neighbor in his poverty, that thou mayest rejoice in his prosperity. Because that same man that's experienced low points, the Lord is going to balance it. You're going to experience, low points and high points. You're going to experience prosperity too. But that's not our goal for prosperity. We just want what's sufficient for us. Like it's saying Proverbs 30, neither poor nor rich, feed me with bread that's convenient for me. So the Lord is going to give you what's sufficient for you. Being rich or having abundance may not be sufficient for you, or being poor may not be sufficient for you. All right. It says, abide steadfastly unto him in the time of his trouble. You got to be down with that brother, that thou mayest be heir with him in his heritage. That brother, the Most High turned things around for him. He started experiencing prosperity, certain blessings, whatever he was lacking, he got it now. And that brother, he ended up breaking bread. Hey, bro, you came through for me. You looked out for me when I didn't have nothing. Boom, here it go. You drop something on him. It says, for a mean estate, you experience a low estate, you misfortune, you lose your job, whatever, you know, is not always to be condemned. So just because a brother lost something, got in a car accident, something happened, you ain't got to, oh man, bro, he must have been doing some evil. He must have been doing some wickedness. I don't know. He may not be a man of the Lord. I don't know. We got to watch him. Nah, sometimes, the Lord can have you experience low points just to build your faith up, and then he'll give you whatever you lost right back and more. We see that what happened with Job. So, nor the rich that is foolish to be had in admiration. So a fool, but he got money. He's not to be, reckoned and glorified, what I'm saying, and had in admiration. But the point is, you're going to experience low points in the truth, but you got to be patient. And patient means to endure. But verse 5 here in Ecclesiastes chapter 2, it says, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So you're going to experience adversity, and that's the time where you get tried. That's when your faith gets tried. Because we got to go through these different trials and tribulations now, entering into Jacob's trouble, just to get the inward man built up. You know what I mean? We're going to have to go through these particular things just so we can have the experience of the Lord coming through, delivering us, being patient, not knowing how it's going to work out for us, not knowing when it's going to come through, how it's going to come through. And then wham, we just see the Lord do his marvelous work. Scripture speak about the strange acts of the Lord, you know. And we got to remember, when a man ways please the Lord, he even maketh his enemies be at peace with you. So, you may have to be in a situation where you got to deal with courts, different Edomite, you know, uh, judicial systems. You know what I mean? But be patient. The Lord is going to be with you and work out whatever you need worked out for you. And another thing is, and this lesson is to me first, you got to put away the mortal thoughts. Let me stack these precepts up real quick. Let's get this over here in Psalm 37. Because as I was mentioning earlier, a man of the Lord is going to have different trials and tribulations, okay? You're going to go through things, all right? It may be Psalm 33. 34. Psalm 34. Um, and 19. Many are the afflictions or the trials and tribulations of the righteous, of the hopeful elect. Many. You don't go through a lot of shit. But Yahweh delivereth him out of them all. So you got to be remembered. See, this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, these precepts like this is going to be your stability and strength of your salvation. Because the fear of the Lord is our treasure. Applying these different precepts, that's treasure to us. And that gets us, brownie points with the Heavenly Father because we produce that faith that he loves. The reason why those people was getting healed when Yahweh Shai was on the scene and different Israelites that was getting healed is because they had to have faith first. You got to believe that, look, the Lord is going to deliver you out of them all, 100%. Out of everything that you went through, the Lord is going to deliver you out of all of it. All right? So now, when we go over here to, because I want to get that in Psalms 34, and then I also want to get something in, where was it? In Second Esdras, the water y'all, Bashim Shai. Second Esdras, chapter 7. Because as you're going through these afflictions, and when you're going through these different low points, all right, like we read in the Ecclesiastes, the second chapter, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take on cheerfully, and be patient when our turn change to a lower state. So when you experience these lower states, you can't let the mortal thoughts fester. This is Second Esdras 7, verse 14. Oh wait, hold on. Second Esdras, is it Second Esdras 14? Maybe, yeah. Second Esdras 14, verse 14. Let go from the mortal thoughts and cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature. So as you're going through low points, right? You get changed to a lower state, right? You experience the many afflictions. You go through, different things while carrying a cross in the faith. Be careful to not let these mortal thoughts and the burdens of man starts growing. Oh, well, how am I gonna do this? Oh man, this happened. What about, man, I need this, I need that by this time, I need that by that time. Don't let those different thoughts start building up. Of course, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hide himself. So you can see the potential danger of things or the outcome of things, and you can prepare yourself for them. You know what I'm saying? But some things, the Lord wants you to just sit back and let him do it. So let go from the moral thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, the different thoughts you get and how you going to be able to do this and that, because you can start, creating these scenarios in your mind and start believing them. And then those scenarios don't even happen. And you spent so much time with thinking about them. You didn't build up stress, depression, and sicknesses come from depression because depression and stress lowers the immune system. It causes you to start getting sick in different things. So as you're worrying about how this is going to work out and how that's going to work out, what you showcasing is a weak nature, a feminine nature. That's something women do, because the word feminine means lack of faith. When you look it up in I believe if you look it up in the etymology, all right, it just means lack of faith. Like they're feminine, they're weak, they have a weak nature. Scriptures call women the weaker vessel. So as you're constantly worrying about and stressing about how you're gonna do this and do that, you're putting on a weak nature. You're acting like a female. You got to understand, you got to believe that, look, what's for me is for me. The Lord got me. He said that many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivered them out of them all. So you just got to be patient and wait for the deliverance. Set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, because you're going to experience heavy thoughts, but you got to cast them away. It says, and haste thee to flee from these times. So you got to hurry up and get out of that spirit, because that'll allow the spiritual demon Satan to come in and put more thoughts, because you're going to get them thoughts, you're going to get them moral thoughts, but it's not what goeth into a man that defile him, it's what cometh out. So it's the actions that you start displaying from those things that entered into your mind, because you start believing them and start acting them out. So as it says in here in the 15th verse, it set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. So you worrying about bills and worrying about when this money is finna come through. Meanwhile, there's greater evils that's gonna happen. What about when the whole power grid shut out? Esau go ahead and do lights off, terminate the power grid, or do some false flag major event in your neighborhood, and you're not able to get on freeways and streets. Here it is, you worried about this and that, and Esau then lock down your whole city because some disease. So just that reminder through the spirit that, look, you got to be mindful to stay strong in your lower states and understand that the Lord has commanded deliverance for the righteous. Not that we're perfect, but we do believe that we're of the hopeful elect, and if we're enduring to the end, all right, we're the righteous. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Lord willing, was edifying to the elect. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors to our elders and apostles, great millstone and tossers, true. Shalom, Akim, stay strong.